Welcome to the Web Piano Teacher Podcast. Gather together and relax with us as we perform your favorite songs, discuss what makes them great, and how to make it work on piano.
If you'd like to learn, play, and share this song like Shawn does, using his revolutionary whiteboard technique, visit webpianoteacher.com and try out the free membership level. Please don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe.
All right, guys, doing Fleetwood Mac today. Rumours album, Never Going Back Again. She broke down and let me in. Made me see where I've been. Been down one time, been down two times. Ooh, never going back again. You don't know what it means to win. Come on down and see me again. Been down one time, been down two times. Ooh, never going back again.
Good job.
That is the hardest song I've ever had to sing and play. So frustrating.
The hardest you've ever?
I've ever had to sing and play.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to sing. It's not that hard to play. But to sing and play this thing together.
Would you say that's because you were putting guitar on the piano? Or do you think if you were playing this on guitar?
No. No, I think that it just has so many parts going on.
Yeah. Actually, because it's actually like 5 different guitars.
Okay, and here's the thing is that the vocal line does not go, it's not spawn from the accompaniment. It's totally different, and it comes in different places, and the syncopations are all... Now, if I really practice it a long time, it could become muscle memory, then it wouldn't be hard. But to just do it on the fly, you know, and do it 2 or 3 times and, and then sit down and play and sing it. Like most other songs, I can just sit down and play and sing.
Yeah.
No problem. But this one was really tough to play and sing on the fly, not having, you know, to sit down and really work it out. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and first off, he's playing many different guitar parts. So he'll record one part and then record another layer over another part.
Yeah. It's
also,
like ragtime.
Somebody else is playing the bass part.
Yeah. Yeah, you have the bass.
And then he recorded the vocals later.
Yeah. And then these 6 on the top that are, you know, it's just tough to put it all together. Anyway, welcome to our Web Piano Teacher Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of impromptu feel to it. I like that. But I love it more when you sing and I just play.
I was just sitting here thinking, oh, it's nice to not have to be singing.
Yeah, we're doing our Rumours album here. We're doing every track, having a podcast for every track, talking about each song, what was going on in the band, and you've done your research with the books you've been reading. And I, you know, of course, went into the music, and I've done lessons on my website, webpianoteacher.com, for every song on this thing. So it's already on there, and I've teach every song completely, and we're going through performing them as best we can.
What a daunting task, by the way.
Oh, yeah, huge undertaking.
Super fun if you're not so like hard on yourself. You know, I mean, we're just having fun. But then also there's that piece that's like, oh gosh, I sounded like that, made that mistake or whatever.
Well, you're hypercritical though.
I am.
You listen to things that people mainly aren't going to hear just upon listening.
I don't know if I would say hypercritical, like critical. I would say maybe more perfectionist. Like, is it a big deal if it's not great? No, it's not a big deal. But do I always know I probably could have done better? Like, now that I hear it and know that I could easily fix the mistake, yes, I would want to go back and redo it.
But then you go and you listen to a live performance of them actually doing it, and it ain't that great, Well,
I know, but that's what I say.
And that makes you feel better.
I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying I don't want to associate the word critical with myself because I don't feel that's what it is.
Yeah, if you listen to vocals on a live performance, and they're not using auto tune and all those cheap tricks. Yeah, you hear real people and they're not perfect on their vocals, and it makes you feel better
when you're watching a performance from the 70s.
Yeah. Because what's on the track?
Because how do they sing more on pitch in their more recent live performances?
Oh, do they?
At their age. I don't think they've improved. Maybe they have.
Maybe there's not as much drugs or.
No, I think there's more autotune.
Autotune.
There's live autotune.
Yeah.
Look,
it's gotten pretty good to where it doesn't sound. I mean, it used to be kind of a gimmick thing. Yeah. But now they've got it where you don't even can really tell they're doing it.
If I could have auto-tune right now, I would have it. Not because I needed to correct everything, but it's just like helpful. Anyway. Okay, let's talk about...
Did it. Great.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
Never Going Back Again. This is the third track on the album, but it was one of the last songs that they wrote and recorded for the album.
Didn't know that.
Which I don't know why I find this fascinating, that the order that they record and work on them is not the order that they are on the album. I guess I'm just a very I
have a hypothesis on that.
Well, once it's finished, you do the whole album as a whole.
Yeah.
In my mind, I always thought, oh, they work on them in order. I don't know. But how would they know what the order is until after it's done? That was me not. It's like once we started studying all this stuff, there were things where I'm like, I never thought about it. So I don't know why I felt like, oh, light bulb. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sure they probably strategically place what they think are going to be hits at certain points in the album. They probably have some kind of formula.
I feel like you open up with a bang.
Yeah.
You keep it hot and heavy.
And end good.
And then you kind of bring it down a little bit in the middle, mood-wise. And then you want to kind of bring it back up again, and then you want to finish with a nice light. That's what I think.
You get some of everything in this one. This one's just happy. If you just... I just think of a kid skipping outside on the sidewalk or something. It's just pure joy.
Well, and then the lyrics, they said it was a delightful sound for delivering bad news, because this is Lindsay's song. He wrote it. Okay. And he had the lyrics in his head, I'm pretty sure. I think he mostly wrote this to be able to bring to fruition what he wanted to do with the guitar sound. And then, because the lyrics they're not a throwaway, but it's not like a song with a ton of lyrics where that's the main focus, of the song. But he wouldn't share the title of the song or the lyrics of the song until it was time to lay down the vocal tracks, because he didn't want to make Stevie mad. Yeah. He didn't want to deal with whatever.
Yeah. And it's really weird the way because there's not that many lyrics, and they come in just kind of weird places. It's like the hook of the song is not anything in the vocals. It's the guitar part. It's the lead guitar part. That's just, you could have no vocals, and the vocals are great, but the drive of the song is the awesome, just the composition of all the guitar parts in there. And even on the chorus part, bend down. It's kind of weird that it doesn't start, bend down, but it waits. Bend It kind of, but then I'm used to it and I don't realize it anymore.
You know, I always wonder because like I'll hear our sons talk about an album they like or an artist, and then they'll be like, yeah, and then the next thing they did was just kind of instrumental stuff. And they're like not into the instrumental.
Uh-huh.
And so I wonder if Lindsey Buckingham was kind of smart in this way. Like really he wanted to do this cool guitar instrumental thing, but he knew I'm going to put some lyrics in there so that it draws everybody. So it's not something everybody skips over. Plus it's only like a minute long.
Yeah, yeah. Why do you think that is? That I mean, because I think that's kind of true that bands, when they do instrumental stuff, people aren't as interested into it. Not all the time, but I think it's kind of like, why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think people love a story, even if they're not really realizing it's a story. Mm-hmm. I think people like the connection of like hearing a person's voice. You know what I mean?
And
like,
something you can sing along with.
And something you can participate
There's a connection.
in.
Yeah.
There. So there's that level of participation that we're always talking about that makes the music more enjoyable. So but I understand for the artists themselves, like them getting to do an instrumental is super fun for them.
Yeah.
But it is a less like audience participation is a little less. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I don't know. I think he just wanted to do something cool and he did it. And
it is cool. I feel like he probably wrote all the guitar parts, and then decided to put some vocals in there. And it's just kind of very unorthodox. It's why it's so interesting to me. Even though it was really hard to play and sing together with all the rhythms going. I mean, it's kind of like, if you're patting your tummy and rubbing your head and everything, chewing gum and hopping on one foot. That's kind of what the dilemma is here. If the vocal part is complicated, but the piano's not, it's okay. But both parts were complicated to do, and I just find it really interesting because it's not your normal formula for a song, and the guitar part is so important to hear. The lyrics take a back seat, but the lyrics are still good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. So there were a couple cool things about this song in particular. So when you're listening to it and you hear that really bright guitar sound.
Oh yeah.
The way they achieved that was they changed the strings on the guitar like every 30 minutes or so. Mm-hmm. What a pain.
That's
where
a lot.
Well, that's where you got the guy who at the studio whose job is to change guitar strings.
If I think I can change guitar strings, and if I think about having to change them every 30 minutes, I would, go nuts.
But they were. This is Lindsey Buckingham's like.
I wonder, could it possibly have been that he thought they were losing their luster, or did they really?
I don't know.
Like, were they pacifying him? Like, okay, change him again, just so he'll finish this thing.
I don't know. Every time y'all change guitar strings.
Oh, that's true, but that's after a couple months. But I can't see him going bad in 30 minutes. Unless maybe they made them differently back then. Maybe they didn't last as long.
Maybe they didn't have that phosphor. What's the stuff?
There's phosphorus bronze
coating
or something.
Or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. But they did. They changed it every 30 minutes to maintain that super bright sound that the guitar has. And then I thought this was so funny. So they go through their recording, changing the strings, like working. And then he goes to record the vocal part, and the song's in the wrong key.
Just quit.
Yeah, I didn't do it. Yeah. So it was like way too high.
Yeah.
And so, how did he? I guess that's really.
It's already way too high.
I know.
I mean,
I know. Can you imagine?
No.
So they redid it. But I have a feeling they had gone through the creative process. Yeah. So now it was just, they knew what to do. They knew what to play. They knew how to achieve it.
Was it way too high or just a half step too high? What do you think?
Okay, a half step too high.
Yeah, it's big.
Way too high.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because it's in G flat. And I was thinking maybe he recorded it in G, and then they just needed to tune down a half step, because that would be an easy change. To play it again.
Yeah.
But
they did try. They did try, like, let's slow it down. Let's see if we can change the pitch.
It never makes it work.
It just doesn't.
It sounds weird. It
loses
its timbre.
And they went to all that trouble to keep the bright sound.
Yeah.
To slow it down would just like, man, remove all the shine and luster from it.
So he did it that day.
I think they went back the next day.
Okay.
It was like they finally got all the guitar parts and then they went in and we're gonna do it later. But
I would have tried to see if I could sing it high one time.
I'm sure they did. Like I think they did spend time like, how can we salvage this?
Yeah, just try it, man. Just try
This is where I'm impressed with Lindsey Buckingham, with all of them really. The like fortitude to keep working on something.
Yeah.
Because we've said it before. I feel like we're project starters, not project finishers. And to like keep working on something until you get it exactly what you want.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we've always done it by ourselves too. Like if we had a sound engineer, if we had somebody else kind of doing that piece of it, I guess too, my like frame of understanding is us doing all of it. We're the musicians and the sound engineer and the people hooking up all the stuff. Like that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'd be like Stevie Nicks and be like, oh, we're getting technical? Bye. I read some story about she went to somebody's house, and I think it was the guy from Sly and the Family Stone. And his like whole bedroom was like velvet, like the walls, the curtains, the bedding, so it was like this velvet room.
Yeah.
And she would just lay in there. But that's where the song Dreams came from.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah.
Well, you have this, it's a songwriter, a creative type. You have that inspiration part where you have, and that's why I always feel like it's always better not to be put on the spot. Okay, write a song, to be able to have it come naturally, and you have the inspiration, whatever it is, you're way up, way down, or you're just feeling good, feel like writing a song, and you have that inspiration, and you get the song pieced together sort of, but then after that, then there's a point where the inspiration is gone, and you turn in just to a worker where you're having to assemble things, and it's hard, and it's not, that much fun anymore as far as, having inspiration in this new song coming.
But for the sound engineer and the producer, that's their creativity. That's where they come in.
That's their talent.
That's their talent, and that's where they are being creative, even in the splicing and the where to put things and where to fit things in, and that's their talent. That is completely different, in my opinion, than the talent of the artist. And they need each other. And
it sounded like Lindsey had a lot of say.
Well, I think that's part of his. He liked that part of it also.
Okay. I don't think that happens as much anymore.
It was intriguing to him, the sound engineering and the listening and the adding in and all. I think.
But the fact that they let him be, a part and have a big say in what actually ended up, because a lot of times, now producers they control every aspect. And they, squeeze out what they can get, and it's kind of neat because I get the feeling that doesn't happen as much today as it did then.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even listen to music of today.
Well, I just remember, I was talking about the Dixie Chicks one time, and I remember they had to fight to be able to play their own instruments on the album and everything.
Isn't that crazy? Because they were excellent.
I know, they're amazing, and I was like, they did? Golly. But that's the kind of thing is, producer controls, because there's a lot of money involved. I guess they
and the guarantee is the studio musician who they hire over and over and over again. And those studio musicians are incredible. Yeah. The ability to play any type of music at any time in any style, they're amazing people. So there's a production problem. Problem. So he was having trouble with tempo on this song, obviously, and there were so many parts. So just keeping them all the same. Yep. So they had a click. Okay. Well, the click kept leaking from his headphones into the microphone.
How did they do a click back then? Was it an electronic?
Probably.
Thing? 77.
77. I'm sure there was a click.
Yeah.
And so anyway, the click in his headphones kept leaking into the
Oh
mic.
yeah. Uh-huh.
And so they were talking about how they kept trying to solve that. I mean, they put like a hoodie toboggan thing. They were taping it. I mean, they had this like whole contraption to try to stop the click leakage into the mic, and it just didn't work. And so eventually they thought, oh, it kind of sounds like a foot tapping.
Okay.
And I think they kind of messed with how it sounded.
Okay.
The click to make it sound.
Because it had to be in the guitar track.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they left it. Mm-hmm. They decided they got kind of used to it.
Okay.
I guess. I mean, when you listen to it so many times and then they couldn't get rid of it and then just decided, I don't know, sounds kind of like a foot tapping. So they left it in. But that's one of those things where you have to listen with headphones.
Yeah.
And you have to really hear. Yeah. Now that you know there's a click leak, you have to really concentrate and all of a sudden there it is. You know, which I think is kind of cool. I'm
sure they tried turning it down, but I guess they couldn't turn it down. And I guess they couldn't turn it down enough because he had to still be able to hear it.
Maybe headphones weren't as great. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was kind of a cool, like...
Little extra. Yeah, that is neat.
So, that's all I got for this one.
Okay.
Short song.
Yeah, great song. And it's really fun to play it, even if you're learning on the website and you don't ever sing it, just playing it is awesome. And people are going to recognize it. You know, at least somebody's going to, what is that? I know what that is, because the guitar part is so prevalent. And as one little tip of advice, if someone's learning this, if they learn it on the website, webpianoteacher.com, you can download my sheet. I have my sheet here, and real quick, we'll just say kind of what I do. I teach piano lessons online, and I teach in a different way. I teach people how to play using their ear and using letters on a digital whiteboard, and we talk about chords, and I demonstrate. And it's just kind of a way around reading music, because reading music is a roadblock for a lot of people. So that's what I do. But if you're on the website learning it, watch the pedal, because we tend to start with pedal and we just because, and you won't notice it if you're the person playing, because we're so used to doing it. You know, it's like we can recognize everyone else's flaws, but not our own, that kind of thing. When you're playing, you have to really listen. And one way to not use too much pedal and ruin it is to start without it. Don't use any pedal.
Which probably feels a little exposing.
It does if you're not used to it. I do it all the time because I've learned we don't want to hide behind the pedal and use it as a covering for our mistakes. And then later on, you can add just a little bit here and there for flavor. Because sometimes when he's picking those chords, they're ringing. You know, the strings are ringing, so you can do that. But it's a lot easier to not have any and then add a little bit later for flavor than it is to put a whole bunch in and then have to relearn it as you take it out. And so there we go.
Why don't you just play it out?
Play it out. Okay. Do I have to sing?
No.
Da 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 da.